Today I bring in the Precision 7760. Now this is a heavy duty machine. It's made for business slash three-dimensional slash those photographers out there, those gamers out there, pre-gaming system. You know, you go upgrade the actual video card, make it a little bit more powerful, and it comes with the 10 keys. And we're gonna take a look at it and see how well it works. All right, let's take a look at the actual keyboard first, the set of keyboards. If you guys notice, 10 full keys right here, right? Everything's included. This is perfect for those people that are going to be doing accounting, or also gaming, because a lot of people like to use these function features in here. Normal pad in here that you have in here. You got the 3 buttons, of course. They're all lined up in here. Everything's fully functional, of course. You could turn on the light, a dark light in here. You could turn it on and off. No RGB lighting. It's just one solid color, white, and you could turn it off pretty much. Function keys, all of them are active too. Power buttons on this side. Speakers are actually on the front and on the top, if you guys can see that. There is some heat coming out of them because it has the GPU and CPU. Right now, we only got the Intel, so it's one GPU, CPU acting as everything else right now. So it is the i7, the Core VP Pro. All right, just to let you know, we're gonna take a look at the sides and see what else is it. Now the screen itself, it's freaking huge, 17-inch. If you guys can see that. Camera, and now it is an IR camera. Now you could read, it could turn on some functions, security wise. You could actually identify yourself automatically. It has a little shutter off and on. It turns red when it's off, if you guys can see that, and it turns on when it's on. Of course, mics are right in front of it, so it's better that they're not down here, because if you could hear fans running all the time, that was a big issue with these machines. The fans were running, the mic was capturing that. The mics are up here now. They've been here for quite a while now, but a lot of machines are catching up to a lot of stuff. They at one point, one of the positions didn't even have cameras. They had the camera down here. It was kind of a rude thing, because women are, show certain areas in that position, and that's pretty much what the capturing of the actual. Instead of those eyes, they was capturing the wrong eyes. So, but now look at this system. It's a beefy machine. It's about 9 pounds, close to 9 pounds, and it comes in keyboard wise. Let's hear the noise. All right, let's take a look at the sides, all right, of the side of the computer. First of all, if you guys can see the side of the computer, we got an SD card reader here, a 3.5 jack, and then we have 2 USBs in here, and then we got the lock area right here. This is not necessary that much. I mean, unless you're going to leave your laptop on the desk, tied down, make sure you tie it down really good, because these locks tend to break easily too. So let's continue on to the other side. On the other side, you got 2 Type-C. If you guys can see it, there is a Thunderbolt, so you could charge things through here. Doesn't have to have the actual charger from the back. You could actually charge it here. You could display things from here. You could run objects from here. You could run a second monitor from here, actually, too. And then you get another USB. Now, on the other side, in the back of it, we're going to take a look at the back. In the back, we got our power source here. We got the RGB connection in here for the Ethernet connection. And then we have a HDMI connection here. And then we have a micro display connection in here. This is pretty good for a Mac monitor or any kind of monitors. Some of the newer monitors are coming out with this connection. But unfortunately, this is something I haven't seen more often now these days. It's kind of dying out too, but HDMI is a great option too. Now, if you guys can see in back of it, it does have the vents where it actually blows all the air out. So it sucks in the air from the bottom and it blows out through here. So that's not a bad thing. So let's go ahead and continue. We're gonna take a look at the actual camera and see how well it works. So let's go ahead and test the camera out. All right, so we're going to capture the video and audio on it, and I had a light on earlier, and it actually adjusted pretty good. So it automatically focuses in, and if I turn it off, it picks up real quick. I mean, the camera is pretty good if you're going to have those Zoom meetings, those calls that you're going to have with team members and stuff like that. The audio, I'm probably like 2.5 feet away from the actual screen. There is a little button in the top, and it's not a button, it's a latch that you could close the camera and open it, and it automatically adjusts it in case, there is a light coming on. So that means if you're going to log into your computer, you could do a
image capture where it actually recognizes you when you open it up and it logs you in. You could do that as an option because this camera has that infrared in there. So I like about that, and it tells you that it's on when it's white. It shows you a little tiny little dot. So hopefully I'll put a little picture in here so you guys can take a look at it. But the video quality is pretty good on this camera. It captures and it moves real quick. It adjusts very well. So hope you guys enjoy it, and hope the audio is good enough for your meetings if you're going to set this up with all the functions it has. So let's go ahead and continue with.
All right, let's take a look at the machine itself. All right. Do you know what? I am actually shocked and amazed on how technology is actually evolving, because this machine tells you how far it's advanced. So we're going to take a look at it and look at some of the great features that this machine particularly has. Now, if you notice, this machine does not have a GPU right now. We only have a CPU, and it acts like a GPU. It's just the Intel. We could have got it with the NVIDIA. It would have been a little different. The chamber would have been a lot different, the actual cooling chamber. Now, it sucks out the air in here and out, and it goes out the exhaust, right? The radiator part of it. Now, this is copper. It's all base coated, right? There is a connections for, you could remove the actual settings and with a couple of screws to actually refill the thermal paste down the line. So that you could upgrade it if you're having issues overheating, or it's failing, or something's not right. I always take a look at the temperatures all the time. So that's a great thing. Now, they give you options for memory, and right now we do have it at maxed out right now. We have 32 megs on it, 32 gigs, I'm sorry, on it right now. Both slots have been taken already. It's all being utilized right now. We do have an NVMe device here, M.2 right here. And this is where the OS actually sits from. They do have a WAM connection here. So if you want to add an extra M.2 WAM connection, goes in here. Your wireless device, it's all set up in here, if you guys can see it. Now, the great option about this, if you guys notice, and I'm going to focus a little bit more, there is a SIM card reader right in the center. It's no longer on the side panels or anything like that. It's actually included in the actual build itself. You can see that. Now, removing the whole shelf itself, it was a little struggle. You know, the actual screws don't have to come out. They just pop out and they stay fixed in the actual shell. Now, the SIM card is perfect for those that are going to be traveling or moving around, and they have a provider, Verizon, T-Mobile, or any other provider. They could actually use this. AT&T has one too. In order for that to work, you do need to download some of the applications for the encryption to work. All right, so that's a must if you guys are going to install a SIM card. If you're not familiar with that, we'll move along with that. Now, the great feature I like about this is my favorite thing. First of all, the long battery. It's always included on these machines, all right? 68 watts. You go upgrade this to not 68, but you can actually lower it down too. So if you're not necessary, but this is a beast of machine. It's going to need a lot of power. It's heavy duty. It's going to be a lot of power being utilized, especially if you use the nightlight on the keyboard. It's another requirement too. But the battery, easy to replace. Remove a couple of screws here, unplug it right here, and they actually give you everything you need to do. A lot of these laptops don't want you to touch any of this stuff. Dell's been always open environment, except for some of the XPS machines, because the memory is already built in there. I don't like that far because you can't upgrade those, but this is great. They still have those options for these. To remove the battery, easy screws, remove, pop out, get the new one, simple. These two memories, easy to pop out the same ways. There's no other slots. These are the only two slots you're going to see. M.2, you can upgrade from whatever it is, 1 terabyte to 2 terabytes to 3, whatever you're going to for in your budget. But another great option is that they give you 3 more slots. 1, 2, and 3 slots for 3 additional M.2s. That means you could have a terabyte, or 2 terabytes, or 3 terabytes, whatever you want. Not only that, you could actually RAID the devices too. They could combine as 1, or they could combine it as 3. It's your call on that part. Now, that's a great option to do. So the only thing you can upgrade from here is the memory, the M.2, and you could add 3 additional M.2s, and the actual battery itself. They give you the WAM device too. Now, this is a great feature for those that don't know that you could actually install extra RAM and not RAM, but extra M.2 in here, a smaller M.2. You got to look at the actual millimeters that you're supposed to drive in here. Now, on this one, they give you the 3 slots. already with thermal tape in here, so you know that it's going to take some heat. Now this one doesn't have thermal tape, but the actual device on the bottom of it, it actually doesn't have any thermal tape either. It's only copper based, and it's pretty much protecting a couple of the devices in here. If you guys can see, this is pretty much what it's going to be protecting in here. So this will be probably set up for software, memory, or software, or pictures, or anything you want to drop in there. You could add 3 devices in here. They're about 80 millimeters long, to seem like the other ones too. You could set those up in here. Easy to remove the screws in here and just set up and go. And they have 3 slots, so they got rid of any kind of SATA drives or any mechanical drives, and they ended up adding 3 devices areas that you can upgrade. So this is a great feature. If you guys are looking for something heavy duty like this for students, or an engineer, or just office use, you can do this. Gaming wise, you're gonna have some problems if you don't include the Intel, if you don't include the NVIDIA chip in here. And they do have the option for that, and they do have options for other things. Now, you can upgrade this device and use any device that I'm gonna demonstrate. I'm gonna give you guys a little rundown. You could set up an external drive to read video cards. So you pretty much upgrade to any kind of video card to read out of it. This one can do that through the slots of the Thunderbolts, but that's an additional cost for the video card, additional cost for the drive. That's another options to have. But overall, this machine, there's a lot of great features you can upgrade. Easy to manipulate some of the stuff, easy to upgrade. So if you guys are looking for something like this, or think you're in the market for a new machine, you might want to consider something like this. So if